Picture this. Under a moonless sky, a lone carriage rattles over cobblestones, plunging deeper into the darkened forests of East Prussia. Its crates are heavy, its mission secret, and inside those crates, legend says, lies one of the world's greatest mysteries. Mosaics of golden amber, shimmering in flickering candlelight, vanish into the night. Where do they go? Who dares to hide them? What if, centuries later, eager seekers are still chasing phantoms? Today, I invite you to journey with me into the legend of the Amber Room. A chamber so wondrous, so dazzling, that it was once known as the eighth wonder of the world. Some say it glowed like sunlight, trapped in stone. Others whisper it was cursed, or that the Nazis buried its treasures beneath ruins, or sunk them in the Baltic Sea, and almost no one agrees on where it truly went. But before we chase ghost stories, let's walk back to where the tale began, into courts of kings and czars, into workshops of master craftsmen, into an era when art and politics were inseparable. This isn't just a lost treasure story. It's about ambition, war, loyalty, betrayal land, the desperate hope that something as fragile as amber might still survive the ravages of time and human ruin. Let me tell you how a room made of amber traveled across borders, was torn apart by war, and left behind questions that historians still ask today. Come closer, let's light a torch and begin. Imagine, in the early 1700s, amber, fossilized tree resin, translucent and ancient, working its way from the shores of the Baltic Sea into the halls of kings. Amber had long been prized, traded along amber roads stretching across Europe from north to south. Now imagine that amber fashioned into walls, mosaics, reliefs, mirrors, gilded columns, an entire room glowing like a sunset trapped in resin. The design was conceived by the German Baroque sculptor Andreas Schluter with the Danish master craftsman Gottfried Wolfram, and later other amber masters like Ernst Schacht and Gottfried Thurow from Danzig, now Gdańsk. Though originally intended for Berlin's Charlottenburg Palace, it was instead installed briefly in the Berlin City Palace. Then, in 1716, during a diplomatic visit, the Prussian king Frederick William I gifted the amber ensemble to Peter the Great of Russia, part token of friendship, part political alliance against common foes. The crates shipped out, some sources say 18 boxes, and arrived in Russia, where they were installed in the Winter House in St. Petersburg. As years passed, the Russian court decided to give the panels a grander home. Empress Elizabeth chose to relocate and expand the Amber Room in Catherine Palace, outside St. Petersburg, in Tsarskoye Selo, also known as the Tsar's Village. The Italian architect Bartolomeo Rastrelli helped redesign the space, and more amber was imported to fill the expanded walls. By the 18th and 19th centuries, the Amber Room had grown to cover more than 55 square meters and held over 6 metric tons of amber, backed with gold leaf, mirrors, mosaics, and ornate carvings. Visitors called it breathtaking. One of its admirers later dubbed it the eighth wonder of the world. The Amber Room became more than decoration. It was ceremonial, intimate, political, used by Empress Elizabeth as a meditation room, by Catherine the Great for courtly receptions, by Alexander II as a trophy of artistic triumph. To stand in it was to feel power, to be enveloped in centuries of wealth and artistry. Then came war. In 1941, as Nazi Germany invaded the Soviet Union in Operation Barbarossa, German forces advanced toward Leningrad. The staff of Catherine Palace frantically attempted to disassemble the amber room and move it to safety. But amber had become brittle with age. Many panels cracked when handled. With time running out, they resorted to hiding the panels behind wallpaper and plaster, hoping invaders would not discover the secret. It didn't work. Within about 36 hours, German troops found and dismantled the amber room and packed it into crates. Reports speak of 24 to 27 crates. In October 1941, those crates were shipped to Kingsburg Castle in East Prussia, now Kaliningrad. Inside Kingsburg, the room was reassembled and displayed, touted by the Nazis as a reclamation of a German treasure. Now the mystery begins in earnest. As Allied bombing raids intensified, and with Soviet forces closing in late 1943 or early 1944, the Nazis decided to again take apart the amber room and hide it in crates for later retrieval. But the war soon swallowed the trail. In August 1944, the RAF bombed Kingsburg heavily, destroying large parts of the city and the castle. After that, the documentation of those crates disappears. Some fragments were found in the ruins. 3 stone mosaic panels that once decorated the amber room turned up in the rubble of Kingsburg Castle, but the amber itself, the heart of the treasure, gone or hidden. Over decades, countless theories have arisen. Some say the crates were destroyed in the bombing or buried under rubble. Some believe the panels were smuggled out of Kingsburg and hidden in mines or bunkers across Germany, Poland, or even in the Baltic Sea. In 1997, one mosaic surfaced in Germany, allegedly from a son of a Wehrmacht truck driver who claimed his father helped pack the amber room. Some treasure seekers believe parts lie on the seabed, aboard sunk ships carrying crates of loot. Some point to a mine in Saxony-Deutschendorf that yielded radar returns of dense metal content, possibly linked to the missing room. Then there are darker whispers, rumors of a curse, or of deaths swirling around those who tried to dig too deep. For example, Alfred Rode, the museum director in Kingsburg, who oversaw the Amber Room exhibit, died soon after the war. Georg Stein, a German treasure hunter, died in suspicious circumstances in a forest in Bavaria in 1987. Some claimed he'd been silenced, and yet, every few years, someone renews the hunt. Polish radio technician Jan Dilingowski recently proposed a bunker near Brusy, Poland, based on SS communications and a last confession. Investigations have even been approved to scan and excavate. Others point to the gold train legends, convoys carrying Nazi treasures, perhaps including amber room crates hidden in sealed tunnels or rail lines. Meanwhile, in 1979, the Soviet Union launched a bold attempt to resurrect what was lost. They began recreating the Amber Room in the Catherine Palace using archival photos, drawings, and fragments. That reconstruction, aided by German donations, was completed and inaugurated in 2003, now standing as a tribute to what once was. So here we stand, centuries later, staring at light bouncing off amber mosaics and polished resin, wondering, was the original destroyed, or is it waiting, silent, behind locked walls, submerged undersea, or buried in forgotten mines? We've walked together from amber-rich Baltic forests to the palaces of czars in Russia, watched as craftsmen shaped resin into walls of golden radiance, and followed the terrible twist of war that tore the masterpiece apart and scattered its fragments. The Amber Room stands as both triumph and tragedy, triumph of human craft, tragedy of wars, hunger for plunder. Yet, after decades of searching, no definitive trace of the original room has been found. Its mosaic fragments, found in ruins, tell part of its story. But the heart of the treasure, the amber, the panels, the glow of resin set in gold, remains elusive. Scholars disagree, treasure hunters argue, and theories range from destruction in wartime bombing to cunning concealment beneath bunkers or the waves. Add to that whispers of curses and secret confessions, and the legend only deepens. Here are the mysteries that continue to haunt us. Did the amber panels survive the bombing of Kingsburg, or were they irretrievably destroyed? If they survived, where might they rest new in mines, bunkers, or shipwrecks? Are the stories of cursed deaths and cover-ups mere folklore, or is there something deeper, hidden in the silence? Could the original room still be intact somewhere, waiting for rediscovery? Perhaps the greatest lesson is this: art is fragile, and in times of conflict, even wonders can disappear. But human curiosity endures. The Amber Room's absence has kindled decades of investigation, passion, hope, and maybe, just maybe, one day someone will unearth one of those begone amber panels and shine the torch once again into the darkness. I'd love to hear your theory. Where do you think the Amber Room is now? Do you lean toward destruction or concealment? Let's talk in the comments. What's your favorite idea, your boldest guess? And if you enjoyed this firelit story of lost treasure, do like, subscribe, and share with fellow mystery lovers. Who knows, maybe one of your ideas will inspire the next great discovery.